Hello everyone, welcome to the first of 4 videos where I'm going to be breaking down my solo flawless run, going over loadouts, strategies, just every single counter, giving commentary on my gameplay, and insight. These videos are not going to be scripted, I just want to let things flow, and I hope these videos help serve as a helpful resource for those looking to understand the solo flawless, and also for those looking to get into it and wondering where to start or how to exactly do things. So I'm going to be starting with Cataclysm. So first, I'm going to go over general layout of the encounter and what you need to know. Now, I have this node map here from an Aegis speedrun doc, and this is super helpful in case you don't already know the node spawns, and I'll also go over Tormentors here. So you can see there's nodes labeled, and there's highlights between 2 nodes. That is basically signifying that there is a 50-50 between those 2 nodes. So say when you grab buff from A, it's going to be a 50-50 here between B and C. Same deal here, but also now there's a 50-50 on these 2. And you can see the same with the other node sets. And that's just helpful to know in case you don't already know that, just so you know, hey, buff's going where, and also what nodes to check. Right. So with Tormentors, it's very important to know their AI, or otherwise you will get rolled by them. So if they spawn on this side here, we'll call this the close side, or start side. They're generally not going to hide that much, aside from the last set. They will hide a lot. But the far side, the Tormentors will hide. So each Tormentor kind of has, the Tormentors kind of have, I'll call them like safe spots where they like to rest and chill out when they're not aggroed, which is why I try to keep Tormentor aggro, so they're running after me, and so when the next node set starts, I can instantly kill that without having to go search for it, or without having it run away, which I believe did happen in my run. So for this far side, for this first set, it's generally going to chase you most of the time, but if it does decide to hide, it's going to hide right here where my cursor is, behind this wall. You're not really going to have great line of sight, but when you end up running here or here, you'll probably draw aggro, you'll see it, or you'll just, you'll kill it. Obviously if it's on this side, it's going to be right next to you and you can just kill it. For the next set, the far Tormentor is going to hide right here behind this pillar. Well, no, not here, but right here. This one's quite annoying, purely because you have to either come around the bottom to get a good line of sight of it, at which it will jump slam, or you go down here, at which it will also jump slam. So you need to be careful with this one. It will also like to cruise around here. So you finish the node set, you're over here, right? You're prepping the Tormentor. It'll like to cruise around here, and the moment that timer starts, it's going to bolt. It's going to bolt all the way over here. It's going to try and hide. You need to kill it before it does that, or you're going to need to take its aggro and try to get it to jump slam or grab you and just have it chase you over here. Obviously, again, if it's on this side, it's just going to be fine. It's just going to hang around. It'll end up somewhere around this node. It'll just try and chill there, and then it'll run over once the next node set starts. So you'll be totally fine. And for the final set, for these Tormentors, the right side, or close side, it is going to hide this time. So what it's going to do is it's going to run over here to this triple pillar, and it's going to try and hide around here. Wait, no, it's all the way back here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it tries to hide here, kind of behind this wall, which is really annoying because you don't really have line of sight. So you can either try and drag it out through the middle, or you just kill it from the side, up to you, or prep it. Once the node set starts, again, this Tormentor is going to run out over here, and it's going to just be all around you. For the far side, this Tormentor is going to generally hide over here, same place as the previous set. Tormentor is just going to chill there, and it will run over here once the next node set starts. So the main things you need to watch out for, honestly, are your Tormentor going into third phase, where it's go for far side, because it will bolt over here, and that's super annoying to deal with. That will mess you up. And then for the final set, Tormentors just hiding here and here. Final set, you need to be very careful with Tormentors, making sure you're prepping them and making sure you're trying to draw them out into good locations. Alright, I think that's pretty much everything with map. Now I'll go on to Loadout. Before I move on to Loadouts, I want to talk about Scions. I'm adding this in later because I realized I completely forgot. Now Scions only really matter on the first phase, so we're going to be discussing mainly just that. And you're going to see 4 Scion spawns here. You got 1 here in the middle. This one we're not even going to discuss. You're going to be killing that like no matter what. It's really these 3 on the sides that are a problem. These 2 right here, you're going to want to get them after you do this node. So whether this is your first node or second node, do these after that. Obviously, if you have both of them, you can just knock them out one by one by going from here to this far node, back to here, and then back to the start. Or you can do a reverse, however works. Again, if you're on Hunter, I didn't do my run on Hunter, but I figured I would mention it. If you're on Hunter, you can use Golden Gun to just kill the Scions through the bubbles, and you don't have to worry about this at all. You just pop your super, bam bam, you're done. So, but for this far node, I like doing this one, or for this far Scion, sorry. I like doing this one after I get the buff when I'm about to go to the end node, just because I can just kill that Scion, drop down, and I finish it. So yeah, just these 2, you get these Scions after you do this node. This Scion, you get it right before you finish the node set. And the middle one, you just grab at your convenience. That's generally how I operate. Obviously, if you have a method that works for you, by all means, do that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. For the second set of Scions, there's really nothing to mention here. They're kind of all in your way. There's this one Scion here. I don't know why it's not labeled on this map, but it's right next to this node on the ground. It's like half a meter out of your way. It's fine. The only Scion that's kind of out of the way is the one on the ground here below this node. But again, it's not that far out of the way. It's second phase. You have a ton of time on second phase. It's the easiest part. So it's not a big deal. And then third phase Scions, again, everything is kind of in your way. Like this Scion is in the way for this node. These 2 Scions up top, you're walking through them when you do this node. So you kind of just get both immediately. And then this Scion, it's like right in front of the end node, so you're getting it no matter what. So there's really nothing to mention there. Obviously, final set, you're not killing Scions unless you're doing multiple Tormentors, at which point I would say that is cope. Have I done that before? Yes, absolutely. But it is cope, and I would not recommend it whatsoever. So I will not be really going into detail on that, just because if you are getting two Tormentors on the last phase, you are coping. You should just practice running more and practice running faster, because from personal experience, I did it, and it was just more headache than it was worth. It was just not worth it. It was better just to actually get good at landing forerunner shots and know my pathing, know when and when not to eager. So only thing you really need to worry about is the first set of Scions. So yeah, that helped. And back to the loadouts. So I will be covering Warlock because that is what I cleared on, that's what I've done. And frankly, I mean, you can see questionable mod choices here, like what the hell is this? I mean, frankly, this is purely because I only had 1 mod energy left and I wanted a siphon, so I was like, hey, why not? So for weapon choices, I used Forerunner in a Trace. Obviously, Eager Edge, you're just going to be using Eager Edge. That's a no-brainer. Forerunner is really nice because you can prep Tormentors really efficiently. It's going to take 3 shots to break the shoulders, then like another 10 or so to kill it. And you get 72 ammo, which is a ton. I think Forerunner is definitely by far and away the best kinetic choice here for Tormentors. And then energy slot, you do have some choice. Obviously, the only thing that really matters here is recon and enhanced battery, so you just... I mean, it's for shooting nodes. But if you want to use a slug shotgun, you can do that as well. Slug shotguns, I believe Surrounded Philo and like Nesses are gonna 4-shot the Tormentors with Radiant. They're gonna 1-shot the shoulders and then 3 shots to kill. Or it might be 3 plus a little bit with Nesses, but I can't quite remember. And it's really, yeah, completely down to personal preference. I prefer the Trace because I like it for shooting nodes. I don't like trying to melee nodes when there's 100 bajillion enemies around. I don't like using my Forerunner ammo for nodes. It's just easier. I don't really need the shotgun. If you want the shotgun, by all means use it. But keep in mind, you're not going to be able to be shooting the nodes with the Trace, which is a bit more annoying. So, yeah. As for armor, well, let's do subclass first. Subclass, obviously, Heat Rise, Icarus Dash. I use Burst Glide because I'm a bit crazy. Just use whichever glide you're comfortable with. Obviously, it's using Sunbracers, so you got Empyrean to extend Restoration and Radiant. You got Resolve. You got Torches, just because the extra damage for the Tormentors is nice. And here you can use whatever the hell you want, really. I use Solace just because it does give that plus 50% to the duration of release recover. So instead of 3.5 seconds of Resto X2, you're going to get 5.25, which is quite nice. And it's also just easier to chain with Empyrean. I didn't really need like singeing or anything. I just like Solace. For mods, obviously got like 4 release recovers, building into resilience and discipline, and then throwing the extra bit into mobility. Honestly, not much really matters here. You got your standard Sunbracers mods, you got bolstering detonation, momentum transfer, which you don't really need because you have heat rises, and firepower. You got resist mods. I like special finisher just in case I'm trolling and I'm spending 20 bajillion Forerunner shots on Tormentors and I need some more special. Also like powerful attraction with recuperation just as cope. It's just nice because you get extra healing on Phoenix Dive. It just supercharges your Phoenix Dive. And then yeah, I've got Scavs, Solar Scav, Good Scav, pretty standard, Outreach, which I mean you can swap that for Bomber. It's really whatever you want. Only thing that really matters is your release recover, your resist mods, your Sunbracer mods. That's whatever else you want to use, go nuts. I would recommend Void. Well, Void Scav doesn't really even matter. You shouldn't be needing ammo bricks. So yeah, that's pretty much it here. Artifact unlocks, it doesn't really matter. I know Elemental Embrace might be nice, but that's bugged. So yeah, nothing too crazy here. And now I'll just move on to actually the gameplay. And I'm gonna have it muted. I'll just watch and point out what I see. So here at the start, I generally think checking this right node is better, purely because the right node, you're generally slower. Left node is easy. Once you've done a couple runs, you know left node is the better node. So it's better to check your right node, purely because if you get that, you're gonna be tighter on time. So obviously, if you can check that faster, that's better. You're gonna see here, I do not. I checked the left node first. I saw it wasn't there, and I'm immediately going right. I can see the Scion up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to just bounce off of this plate while shooting the node, which I'm able to do. I'm just gonna fly up here. I'm going to have a skill issue. And then Scion, head back. Pretty standard running from here. Nothing too crazy. You can see, one funny thing to note, I have 24 sword ammo. This is because my friends were asking me to reload Apex so they could hear the sound of a reload before this. So I rallied on Apex, I shot it, reloaded it, and then I switched to sword. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. 24 sword is more than enough. Here, you're going to see I pop heat rises because... Let me back up a second. See, I know this Scion's here. I know I have to make it from this node to over to the Scion. So I'm just going to use heat to do that because it makes it a whole lot easier. I'm just going to float over, shoot the node, 0 seconds, but honestly, it wasn't very close. Here, I'm just going to be clearing ads, just so I'm not getting flinched to oblivion, and also so I'm stacking my Restoration and Radiant. Then, prepping the Tormentor, it's 2 shots to one shoulder and then 1 shot to another to break. Sometimes you will have hit reg issues where it's just not going to update, or you're going to yellow number and just not do damage. You get used to it. So here, I missed a lot of shots. I'm going to restack my Restoration and Radiant. And right now I'm watching for the timer to pop up because I know it's close. And right here, I see the timer. I'm like, okay, I want to kill this guy. And I am not able to. So I'm just going to run over to the node. And just wait a second. See if I can pick him off. And I again have a skill issue. Can't land a shot. So I'm just going to keep running nodes. Hope he walks over. And he does. So I just kill him with bracers. So from here, I'm looking for Scions. I see one top Scion. Have I seen the other one? I've not. Now I see it at the bottom. I'm checking for nodes, just running normal. See my restos out, but that's really not a big deal. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Why am I walking like that? Anyways, I'm gonna kill a Scion. Oh yeah, you'll see me do that quite a bit where I in Incinerator snap the Scion. It's just nicer. You can immediately start proccing bracers off of that. So here, finally see, okay, Tormentors on the left side. I'm going to last node. And I've got a little bit of time, so I'm just going to reload. I'm gonna prep the Tormentor a bit. And then I'm going to finish the node set. Now I'm just, again, stacking Restoration and Radiant. And I'm going to prep this Tormentor a bit, run out of ammo again. Honestly, if you want, you could throw a kinetic loader, or kinetic targeting. If you're bad like me, I should probably use that, because I need it. So here, yeah, I'm afraid that it's going to run away, and it does start trying to run away, because you can see that timer started, and like I discussed before, the moment that timer starts, this Tormentor, if it's on far side, just will bolt all the way over behind this wall. So I have to kill this guy before he does that, and I am able to land 2 shots for once in my life. I'm just running normally. I didn't mention it, but checking for first node on the second set, and also this set, doesn't really matter. This one you want to check the top one just because it's the only one you can like really easily see. You can't really see the bottom one. There's friggin' brick in the way. Here I'm just checking, looking for this arrow so I know, or this line so I know where to go for the next set. Just running as per normal. I still haven't seen the second Scion, but I know it's over there on the far side, just because of process of elimination. And I at this point, I am looking at my eager ammo, like, that's not great. I mean, it's fine. That's not great. Very champ chumps enough for this, and I'm not having any of that. So here, I'm going to be watching for where my Tormentor is. Actually, I finished the node set with 5 seconds left, which I disagree with. I had a few seconds to check which side my Tormentor was on, and I should have taken that. But instead, I just finished the node set immediately, which is totally fine. I'm not going to be able to prep the Tormentor as well as I should have been. It's here, it's normal Tormentor prep. I'm going to start moving over to the start node, and that's going to cause the Tormentor to run and hide because I'm no longer taking the aggro, and it's just gone. So I'm just running at this point. I know it's going to run over to the middle where I can see it easily, and I'm just waiting. Here, let me back that up a second. I checked top first. Again, I disagree with this. You should be checking the lower one first, purely because the top one is better to get out as a first node. So you want to be checking the worst node. It only really applies to the first and last set, but it does help a little bit. Does it help a lot? Not really. Makes maybe part of a second of a difference, but every little bit counts. Here, I back that up a second. I believe I see the Tormentors scythe right here, so that's why I'm just gonna immediately run over, finish it off, and then finish out the nodes relatively normally. Let's see. I don't think I do anything crazy here. Actually, no, I lied. So here I'm checking for where I'm going. You can see this line is pointing down here at this point, but I'm actually, instead of looking at that, I was looking for the far one, which I should not have been doing. I was looking at the far and the bottom. I should just be looking for this line here, telling me where to go next. I also see buff is here in bottom center, which is like just a huge W. If you ever get that, the buff to go middle, like one of these middle two nodes, it's just a W. So I'm just gonna finish out my nodes here. I see I'm kind of low on time and there's no enemies around this, so I'm just gonna hit escape over to the final node. Was it necessary? Absolutely not, but I did it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this encounter. I'm gonna see I swapped to Wither, which is, I'll get into that next video because that's for Precision. But yeah, it is pretty much everything for Cataclysm. It's really nothing too crazy. Nothing really oh, voice crack. Nothing really should change from class to class too much. So yeah, I hoped this video helped. I hoped it was informative. And I will be making one on Precision tomorrow or later tonight. We'll see. Depends on if I have time. So yeah. Anyways, I will see y'all then. And until next time.